Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest is George Mangos. He's 3-0 and he's taking on Justin Van Heerden for the Hex Featherweight title June 14th in Melbourne. Now, this is a very interesting chat because he's the final piece of what has felt like a weird musical chairs at points in time between Sam Kakembo, Jarrett Wilbraham and Justin Van Heerden, who all four of them asked to come on the show this week almost simultaneously as we started with Sam, and he believed he was going to be taking on Justin Van Heerden, and there was some confusion among some of the fighters and what they were told and what they thought, and he was originally scheduled to fight Jarrett Wilbraham, which is Justin Van Heerden's teammate. Jarrett and Sam, I believe, as we go to record, as you see this right now, have been sort of moved off to the side, and they will be definitely fighting each other, I think. And Justin Van Heerden is taking on George Mangos. Now, the interesting point of this is Justin Van Heerden is the former Eternal MMA Featherweight champion. He vacated his belt to come on over to Hex to fight Abdullah Biata for the Hex Featherweight title, but Abdullah Biata, who took his fight 3 weeks out, Muay Thai fight, is now not medically cleared as he suffered a concussion, so he is out of that fight. And Justin Van Heerden is now competing for the Hex Featherweight title, and in slides George Mangos. George Mangos, as we said, 3-0 from Sydney. He was originally slated to be a part of the 4-man Grand Prix with Eternal MMA to compete for the Featherweight title, which Justin vacated, and a massive cash prize. George Mangos, his fight was scheduled for Sydney, May 24th at Eternal MMA 84 against Dan Jones. Dan Jones got injured. In slides Dimps Gillies. Then Dimps Gillies can't fight in Sydney for reasons, and that fight gets ultimately moved. Now, there's been some confusion, and we've talked over the last couple of podcasts. We've had Justin on, we've had Jarrett on, we've had Sam on. You can go back and listen to all of that and take what you want from their mouths and what they say, and what is their truth of the situation. But there seems to be a bit of confusion, whether it be managers, coaches, fighters, whatever it is. But George Mangos then jumped ship, if you will, for the opportunity to fight Justin Van Heerden for the Hex Featherweight title. Ask them in fact, go listen to the interviews, and you'll find out their opinions on kind of what went down. But you're about to get George Mangos's opinion and side of the story, and that's why I've called it the final piece, is because we get to find out how the Justin Van Heerden fight came about, how he and why he decided to take himself out of the Eternal MMA Grand Prix. And I can confirm we are getting Justin Van Heerden versus George Mangos, June 14th, Melbourne Pavilion. And this is, the final man. This is his thoughts. I know I've ranted and rambled, but there is so many layers to this story. Like I said, go check out the other interviews. But the final piece right now, and then we can finally focus on the actual fight that is officially happening. George Mangos versus Justin Van Heerden, June 14th. Ladies and gentlemen, George Mangos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the final piece of the puzzle of this 4-man musical chairs. George Mangos, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Thank you. Good to see you.
Now, I believe Justin Van Heerden kind of doubled down this morning, posting the fight poster, saying the fight is on. I was saying it's super duper official, I guess, now. You're taking on Justin Van Heerden June 14th for the Hex Featherweight title. Was there any confusion over the last couple of days?
Yeah, well, on my end, not until you started putting out these videos, to be honest. On my end, we just got offered the fight early last week. We sat on it for a bit, me and my coach Luke, thinking what's the best option. We decided, we want to be the best in the country, so we have to beat the best. We took the opportunity to fight Justin, take his number one spot. But until those videos, I thought the fight was locked in. I never got offered anyone else, never got offered Sam or Jarrett. It was just Justin, and I signed the contract, and I thought, we're on. until people were saying otherwise. It was all up in their air and everyone's confused. I was pretty certain I was fighting until then.
It's funny because I was as confused as anyone when Justin said that, and I went, "Oh no, what is happening?"
Yeah.
But mate, you were basically being advertised, heavily advertised, probably even the heavily favorited by some to take out the Eternal MMA Grand Prix. Up until I feel like it was a couple of days ago, you were still scheduled to take on Dim Skillies on June 22nd. It got moved from, I think it was May 24th from Sydney because the fight couldn't happen. It then got rescheduled for the Gold Coast. Were you not signed in on that? Like, talk us through that. Was there not like a contract in place? How did you end up on Hex?
I saw you were saying to Justin about honoring your contract and stuff you've agreed to and signed to, which I agree with. So, well, on my end, pretty much the only contract I got sent and signed from Eternal was to fight Dan Jones May 24th. That fight didn't end up happening. Dan Jones injured his back, and then got swapped to fight Dims in Sydney. I was happy to do that. There was no new contract for that, but I was happy to take that fight in Sydney. Then it's got moved to a different day, different location, different opponent. In Dims, June 20, whatever, June 22 in the Gold Coast. There was no contract for that. There was no contract to fight, be locked in and fight the winner of Seb and Gabriel. None of that was all. There was nothing signed and you know, sealed for those things to go ahead. So so we got this offer to fight Justin, and we thought that was a better thing. Like Dims is a tough fight, and I reached out to Dims. I spoke to him about not ending up fighting him. He was okay with it. He got a replacement. He understood why, But props to him for being game to take the fight and fight me in Sydney on that short notice, even though it didn't end up going through. He was fine with it. He ended up getting a replacement in Ollie Schmid. Like I said, to fight Dims in Gillies, I never signed. Dims Gillies in the Gold Coast, I never signed that, and I never got sent anything to fight a winner of Seb and Gabriel.
Did you sign a contract? Did you put pen to paper to fight Dimps in Sydney?
No, I never. The only one contract I got sent was to fight Dan in Sydney. That's it.
So you did sign the one because you were going to fight Dan. I think it was Dan Jones in Sydney that fell out. So are you saying you did put pen to paper to fight Dimps in Sydney, or you didn't?
No, never got sent anything even.
I mean, surely some form of like verbal
Uh,
agreement has to happen.
we said we're down to fight Dims in Sydney. We said that. I'm sure there's something on that contract anyways about opponents subject to change or something. But in terms of the next fight, that's a completely different date against an opponent I've never signed to fight technically, and on a different state, everything. So we never signed to that.
Did you verbally agree to fight Dimps in the Gold Coast?
Yeah, I think we said I think my coach. I never speak with Cam directly. I think that maybe they came to that agreement, but didn't like live for that long.
Yeah, I'm definitely no cop. I hope you don't feel investigated or interrogated, but it is. It's just like it's important to sort of like gloss out these details because, of course, I think in the eyes of, the law, like however strong these contracts are, like you sign it. We all know if you sign a contract, you're 100% in, right? Verbally agreeing, I think, is always up in the air. Some people hold it in really, really high regard. Some people don't. Look, I'm not here, obviously, to comment on it. In terms of being a fighter, I understand that the Van Heerden fight popping up is, and we'll get to that in a minute, is such a big opportunity. But in terms of Dimps, I guess, Cam, Eternal in general, do you feel bad at all for kind of backing out of that fight?
Not really. I mean, it's a selfish sport. You got to be selfish in this sport. I got to do what's best for me. Like I said, I did sort of. That's why I reached out to Dims. He was cool with it. He didn't have anything bad to say. Especially since he's found it now. He's got a replacement as well. Doesn't make me feel too bad, to be honest. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a selfish sport. You got to do what's best for you. yeah, I'm not here to make, best friends with anyone and keep them happy. But if there's bigger and better opportunities they're gonna pop up, I'm gonna take those because yeah, that's what I'm here to do.
And speaking of opportunities that popped up, talk us through how this even came about. Like, when did Hex contact you, kind of with the fight falling out? Like, talk us through the timeline.
I think it was only about a week ago. So I would say Wednesday last week maybe. They messaged my coach asking if we're interested. And yeah, Luke said we are, depending on what he's offering, like what's the go, is it for the belt, and just more details. And yeah, we said we're interested. And just thought about how we're gonna go about this, if we're gonna take it, how we're gonna go about Eternal and all those things. And yeah, I think Saturday maybe we confirmed it. We said yeah, we're in. They sent us a contract and yeah, signed it.
So you put pen to paper before they announced it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Was there anything, I mean, before we talk about that matchup, was there anything in that process that you think was lost or misunderstood by anyone in general that you wanted to clear up?
Not that I know of. No, I just I saw a saying. I never got offered anyone else other than Justin. I wouldn't have moved for anyone else. I wouldn't have, gone and taken that fight and pulled out of the Dims fight to fight Sam or Jarrett for no belt. It wouldn't make any sense. But to fight Justin for the belt, I thought was a valid enough reason to, pull out of that and go chase that instead.
I can see how that would sort of lure you. And look, a belt's, at the end of the day, the two major promotions, whether you like it or not, Eternal and MMA, Eternal and Hex, right up there. To hold their belts means a lot. Um, what's your thoughts on Justin Van Heerden as an opponent?
Yeah, look, he's on a 6-fight win streak. He's been proving people wrong in his past few fights. As Sam said and Justin said, people think he's the easiest fight. Um, but clearly he's got something going for himself. Yeah, he's gonna be tough. Just as even like Dims would have been a tough fight, but there's as well without the trade off is there's not as much. What if I beat Dims? I beat a tough guy, but not as much reward. He hasn't fought MMA for 2 years. Blah blah blah. Where Justin's been active, he's coming off a win against Michael Barma in a tough fight. Um, yeah, he's number one for a reason. He's been putting people away when no one expected him to. So yeah, I want to come out there and run away with his hype and win streak that he's built up.
No, it's got that almost like that Harry Webb sort of vibe where you kind of get thrust, and even Quill and Sourkill to a degree, where you've kind of been thrust into the title like that smidge quicker than I think everyone thinks. But obviously, if you take it out, you take out the number one guy. So who do you think is a tougher fight, like Justin Van Heerden or any of the other guys that were in the Grand Prix?
In the Eternal Grand Prix, yeah, I think definitely Justin is a tougher fight. He's strong, he's durable. Yeah, he's beaten a lot of top guys. He's yeah, I think Justin is a harder fight than those guys, and a win over him is a bigger win than any of those guys in that tournament.
Would you say that Justin's grappling is his main strength?
Yeah, he's grappling, his durability, he's awkward on the feet. Sometimes it's hard to deal with. So yeah, he's. I'm gonna be switched on and not counting him out anywhere, even on the feet.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Like, where do you see this sort of fight happening? Do you think it's going to be a real chess match, grappling wise, or do you think both you boys are going to that's going to cancel each other out and you're going to start striking?
Yeah, it could be. That's what we saw against him and Rod Costa in both his fights, right? Like he both those guys. Rod Costa's a black belt, Justin's a brown belt, whatever. He's a good grappler, but yeah, both times they fought, they just slugged it out on the feet. Both ended in knockouts, one apiece. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I'm confident I can win the fight wherever I need to. I can beat him on the feet. I can beat him in the grapple. I've never gone to decision, but I'll beat him over 5 rounds. Also, I'm happy to go anywhere.
Now, Justin has always come in as the underdog. Do you think that is still the case? Do you think you're going into this title fight as the favorite?
Um, I don't know. I'm sure there's some people that are counting him out. Whether I am or I'm not, it doesn't really bother me too much. I wouldn't mind being an underdog as well. Me, I think some people might count me out, to be honest, just because I'm only 3-0. I think they think I'm dangerous, but Justin's had 18 fights, I've had three. So when you put it that way, sounds like I'm a bit of an underdog. But everyone knows I'm dangerous. That's why, even though I wasn't the original choice to fight him, I was one of the options to call up to replace Abdullah because they know I'm dangerous and yeah, I'm past my record. My skill set is more than just 3-0.
Mate, as we come close to June 14th, did you think you were going to get an opportunity like this so quickly? I mean, when we last spoke, you were kind of just starting your pro career, and now it's almost like you're about to reach the top of Australia.
Yeah, no, not at all to be honest. But yeah, I always stay ready for stuff like this. It's funny, even my first amateur belt was the same thing. I took that fight on 3 weeks' notice. I was only 3-0 as well due to there was a someone in the title fight pulled out, and yeah, I stepped in at 3-0 on 3 weeks. So history repeats itself, and here we are again.
And do you have a prediction for the fight?
100% finish rate. Doesn't change. That's the prediction. That's what we try to do every fight. Yeah, so I'm gonna come in all guns blazing, and yeah, try to take him out.
Oh, I love it, mate. All right. Well, unless there's anything else you kind of want to get off your chest, I know you're the last man to the table, so there's a
Yeah.
lot that's been said. Is there anything that you want to get out there?
No, that's it from me. I just wanted to clear up that. Yeah, maybe the contract stuff. How it came about, but other than that, I'm good to go until June 14th.
Jeez, this is one of the things that I did not actually try to get the ball rolling on. I literally got a message. Who was it? I think it was from Sam the first, and then it just kept rolling. Jarrett's like, "You got to talk to me now." And then Justin's like, "All right, now me." And then you were like, "All
Yeah.
right, you're missing a piece."
Yeah, so the last piece of the puzzle that was needed.
Oh, I love it, mate. Look, regardless of how it's happened, you've got this massive opportunity ahead of you. I wish you all the luck. You're destined for the stars. I didn't think it would happen this quick, but look, if you can take Justin out, you deserve to be at the top of Australian MMA. And hey, maybe we see you go back. There's probably still time in the Grand Prix to fill in, and then take both belts and right off into the sunset.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I don't mind.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll let you go.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.